what's up everyone? Welcome to Tory Bash Takeover. This is Dr. Hacks, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about whether or not there's such thing as noob mods that you should avoid playing whatsoever. The question kind of came up because I've been hosting Tory Bash Takeover tournaments, and that's a tongue twister a little bit. And a lot of times I host like Wushu generic, not wushufixed, not Wushu 3, not Brushu, straight up Wushu, as it was created, as it was intended, the mod that started it all. And a lot of people would say, well, that's a new mod. It's outdated. It doesn't work with the meta at all. It doesn't develop great flow. It doesn't develop great speed and good fights and whatever some people think Wushu is about nowadays. And there's a lot of validity to what they're saying. And to their credit, games like Wushu 3 and Brushu bring on a different meta, and they bring on a different play style, one that puts value towards being able to manipulate your body a lot faster without consequences, which creates for really cool movement and really interesting comebacks and some really drawn out fights. Because I mean, Brushu is bearing on almost being a spar because of how long it is. I mean, DQs are pretty uncommon, and it's what, 20 turns? That's a really long time. However, Wushu teaches things and has a different meta that isn't something that shouldn't be valued. And so it brings up this question, is there such a thing as a new mod? Should you not play a mod? At what point is a mod too luck-based for you to not enjoy it, or you shouldn't enjoy it? First off, I want to address that last part. You should enjoy any mod. If you have fun playing a mod that isn't literally one-sided, like Lolnade 3, you shouldn't play Lolnade 3, period. In fact, I think it's bannable to play that mod. Then do it. Just enjoy it. Who the hell cares what other people will think about it? But I want to use a great example about luck-based mods, because when someone says luck-based mod, the first thing that comes to people's heads is judo. So that's a great example. I think during the summer, last summer, I was with a really good friend of mine. His name's Deprave. He's in flow. He's an awesome guy. He is unbelievably competitive at Wushu. He has a great style. I always admire how he's able to manipulate himself with such flow. No pun intended. And I made my own room, and people were welcome to join. It was a judo room. And he came in, and he was like, why are you playing this garbage? This garbage is complete luck-based. If it was luck-based, then we should be winning about 50-50 or something along those lines. I mean, it doesn't have to be a coin flip for it to be luck-based, but I was like, if it's that big luck-based, start beating me at it all the time. And I think I streaked like 8 in a row against him, and then he beat me once. And then I beat him like 3 times, he beat me once. I beat him like 3 times. The point is, I was consistently beating him. And it was more of the rarity that he was beating me than I beating him. So if there was a luck interference, it was still not big enough to stop me from being the better player and getting more wins, regardless. And I wasn't using openers either. I was using improv because I wanted to play reactionary to what he was doing. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like the interesting challenges that comes with saving dismembered body parts. I like the fun of removing body parts. It brings enjoyment to the game. It's very fun. It's very neat. It's not something I get to do often in like Aikido or Brushu. So should judo be a mod that's avoided? No, it shouldn't. Should Wushu be a mod that's avoided? Again, I would disagree. I think that there's a lot of validity to what people are saying, however. Like, Wushu 3 and Brushu brings on a new meta with new criteria of how to play a sound game in those mods. Wushu 3, Brushu, Lensheng, RKMMA, Aikido. These are all great mods, and they all have a very competitive scene, and they're very balanced, which makes it great for dueling, and it makes it great for competition. But a lot of it's very point-based, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I like winning by disqualification a lot. Not more than necessarily, but I do like it a lot, and I like dismemberments a lot, which is why I like Techion too, which is a mod that isn't dueled in as frequently. So the point I'm trying to drive in home at is just because Wushu And wushufixed is more derived upon interesting openers, interesting ways to dismember, having to, if you are behind, having to come back quicker, and things of the sort, doesn't make the mod worse. It doesn't make the mod less competitive either. What it does do is change the meta to care about something other than what Wushu 3 sets out to. Because in Wushu Original, you cannot do these really, really fast comebacks because they'll break your wrists or they'll break your foot off. I think Shocky pointed that out. It's like every time I play Wushu Fixed or Wushu, I break my feet. And he used that as an argument against why Wushu is just terrible and you should never play it. It's so outdated and it is quote unquote gay. Is how he described it. And there's nothing wrong with him having that opinion, but it's a different challenge rather than a lesser challenge to be able to perform good comebacks without producing too much pressure or force against the body. It teaches players to be more responsible with how they apply their force. And it teaches more about punishment. Because in a bad move in Brushu results in losing 25,000 points, but it goes on for 20 turns and you can come back and come back and come back and come back, and it feels many a times like you're not able to punish someone for their mistakes. So I would compare it differently. I would call it a completely different game than Wushu. And there's room for both of those players. And there's room for players to like both. So ultimately, should you avoid noob mods? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And they still develop you as a player in a different way than they do the pro games. You will absolutely develop a new certain skill set from playing these older mods than you will from playing the newer mods. Now, if what you're going for is to radically change your speeds as quick as possible, don't play Wushu Original. You'll break yourself. And that's a skill that if you want to develop, you should totally change gears into the Brushu room. But if you're looking for punishing people's mistakes and avoiding making mistakes yourself, you need to play mods that the punishment is real. I mean, the best example I can think of is air hockey. When you make a mistake in air hockey, you've overextended your defense. You've tried so hard to be aggressive that you're leaned into the table. You're going to get an insta-gib puck hitting your chest and you don't have time to react. You can inflict self-damage, but then you almost lost the game there because now he just has to not get hit by the puck. Or you can not get hit by the self-damage and the puck's going to insta-gib you and you lose either way. So you should totally still try these mods out. I think there's a whole lot of validity to them. Just wrapping it all up now. I think there's a whole lot of validity to them. There's a reason why the old school players that people look up to played these mods. And it wasn't just because Brushu wasn't available. It wasn't like when Kamika was streaking in Wushu, he wasn't thinking to himself, boy, I bet it's not even possible to change Wushu to make it less punishing, last longer, and be able to move faster. No, I bet he observed what he liked in the game, and he played the mod that best represented it in settings. So ultimately, enjoy it all. If you don't like something, don't play it. But certainly never look down upon people that are playing one mod over another, because it's not noob, it's just different. Thanks a lot again, guys. I'm sorry I got on my soapbox a little bit there, but I thought it was a really interesting topic, and I thought it's a good question to ask, so I want to address it. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos and you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button so you can see all my content as soon as it comes out. Leave me comments down below, and let's make sure Tori Besh takes over.